Hi scholars, happy Tuesday. Yesterday we were working on reading flexible. And what this can look like when we're searching for the main idea of a text is really focusing on text features and how they're clues to finding out the main idea. You're going to see that I will have the video recorded and inserted here. But for today, what we want to focus on is it's called boxes and bullets method. And it's a way of determining and helping organizing our work especially while we're in nonfiction. And so what this can look like for today, and just some things to keep in mind, is we're determining the main idea and then finding supportive details. And I'm going to show you an example of it through our lovely favorite icky gross mummy book in just a moment. But that's really the focus of it, is finding the main idea, trying to figure out what the text is trying to teach you, and then supporting details to really create like an oomph for your main idea. And so boxes and bullets are literal boxes, and you're going to see bullet points following this. And this is something that you can do in your notebook or use the graphic organizer I'm providing with today's lesson. We really want to think about sentences that pop out to us and really using our text features as clues to help us with our work. And I am so sorry if you can hear my dog. She's being obnoxious right now. And so really one important thing when we're talking about boxes and bullets is reading a chunk of the text, thinking about that part as what is the most important thing from this text. And then from there, what supporting details arise. And so as we keep reading a chunk of a text and we're thinking about what we're trying to learn, how it goes together, we want to ask ourselves and think to ourselves, this is mostly about what? And so especially when we're thinking about pop-out sentences, I want us to think about the first sentence, the last sentence, and anything else that seems really significant and important. And like always, we really want to be thinking about text features and clues. So the heading, the subheading, images, and repeated words, and the first sentences that take place. So what does that look like when we are in a nonfiction text? Don't forget, nonfiction is not fake, so it's real. Sadly, fiction is fake, just like Harry Potter, anything with dragons, anything with people with superpowers. Sadly, that is not reality. Sad face, I know we can go cry about it later. But let me go ahead and show you a part of our mummy book that we were reviewing yesterday and how we could use that for today's work. So just give this 1 second to kind of let me get situated. And so when we're looking at this section for man-made mummies, remember this is just a chunk of the text. If we're looking at the table of content, it would help us kind of get a better idea as to everything going on. So right here we can see huge section, lots of different sections that take place, large story. But we're just going to focus on one part, and that's the man-made mummies section. And so when we're looking at this section, our first objective is to figure out what is the main idea. What does this author want to teach us? Why are we reading this text? And so just like how we did yesterday, what we're going to do is start at the subheader, because the actual title of the piece is literally called Mummies. And this section is called Man-Made Mummies. And so as we're reading, we're trying to figure out what is the author trying to teach us. So let's go ahead and dive into the text. For thousands of years, people have made mummies. Many cultures believe that a person's spirit lives on after death. So already I'm starting to think about, what is this text trying to teach me? And I already have a couple of ideas. We could probably put for one of the main ideas that some people made their dead into mummies because that was a part of their cultural beliefs. We can see this right over here when it talks about many cultures believe in a person's spirit lives on after death. And it also has a time amount. For thousands of years, people have made mummies. That's a long time. That's not just saying like yesterday we just decided to start making mummies. Thousands of years, especially when we're thinking about the time of Earth, pretty solid amount. So as we're going to keep reading, we're going to think about what supporting details can we find that will help us justify and really know if our main idea is correct, or if we need to do some tweaks and some changes to our text. So let's go ahead and keep going for looking for some supporting details. They thought spirits might need things in the next life. That's why mummies were sometimes buried with weapons, jewelry, food, or even mummies of favorite pets. Different cultures had their own way of making mummies. Some dried their bodies with sand or smoke. Others used chemicals to preserve their bodies. So right now when I'm reading this, I am thinking about all of the different ways of how they would preserve bodies and what would come along with the bodies for the next life. And if we're going back to this really important sentence, many cultures believe that a person's spirit lives on after death. Because of the spirit living on, they are sending different objects with them, their favorite pets. They're thinking about what they might need in their next life. And if we think about in our normal life what we need, we can think about how we need like a shelter, we need food, we need water. And so they were thinking very similarly on what does this mummy need? Now that this person has died in this world, what do they need for their next life? So some supporting details that I would include for this were that many cultures believe that a person's spirit lives on after death. I can point right to the text about where that is a supporting detail. Right after that, I could also think about how the spirits need things for the next life. They need weapons, jewelry, food, and even pets, which is kind of sad if you think about it, because that probably means they had to kill the pet to like bury it with the mummy. So that kind of bums me, but okay. And then lastly, thinking back for some more supporting details as to why cultures and some people believe that the dead needed some people made their dead into mummies because that was part of their cultural beliefs. We can also think about how different cultures had different ways of preserving the bodies. So thinking about sand, smoke, and other chemicals to allow this to happen. So this is one example of the box and bullet note-taking method that you can see right in front of you. And I did include a PDF for you so you could take it to Notability if that is what makes your life easy. So right here you're going to see the article, you're going to put the nonfiction text. Mine is mummies for this example. And then think about what supporting details you can include. If you're going to use text evidence, that's great. Just make sure you use quotation marks to show that. And you're going to see that there's a couple different options for different main ideas as you're reading. If you would prefer to use your notebook, that is also fine as well. Whatever helps you organize your thoughts when you're thinking about the box and bullet or boxes and bullets note-taking method. Let me know if you have any questions, and be sure to come to office hours Monday through Thursday from 2:40 to 4 or Friday from 11:30 to 12:50, and I will gladly answer any questions you might have. Have a great day. Bye.